Tonight on Q2, coming to the rescue.
Just ready to help in whatever way I could.
One Acton family turned into good Samaritans, pulling an MHP trooper to safety after a chase led to a fatal crash. Plus, rushing waters turned deadly.
There was people right on the scene right away doing CPR. It was just didn't work. It was too late.
Safety in the spotlight after 2 bodies are found in 2 Montana rivers this holiday weekend. And disturbing new details released in a July 4th homicide on Billings West End. We'll have the latest. The MTN 530 News starts right now.
From Montana's news leader, this is the MTN 530 News.
Good evening and thanks for starting your week with us. I'm Russ Riesinger. We begin this evening with an update. The Montana Highway Patrol trooper who was injured in yesterday afternoon's pursuit, which saw the suspect die, has now been released from the hospital. That trooper, identified as Brennan Plucker, attempted to stop a speeding vehicle around 12:15 when the driver fled, prompting the chase. During the chase, the suspect's vehicle collided head-on with a semi-truck near mile marker 12 close to Acton. The suspect died on scene while Plucker worked to avoid the crash and rolled his patrol vehicle. The semi-truck driver has also been released from the hospital along with Plucker. During the incident, the suspect's vehicle caught fire, ultimately burning about 110 acres before finally being put out. An Acton family came upon that scene when the crash first happened. The woman, a CNA, and her husband quickly jumped into action, helping rescue the trooper from his vehicle while helping others on site. Tonight, our Isabel Sparts hears from these good Samaritans as they reflect on this very scary experience.
A day Destiny Williams and her family will never forget.
It was pretty chaotic. First, I didn't really understand what was happening.
On their way to their home in Acton from church Sunday afternoon, they came across a horrific scene, missed by just seconds.
Immediately, I just knew I needed to get out and help.
Montana Highway Patrol Officer Brennan Plucker was in pursuit of a speeding suspect on Highway 3 when suddenly the suspect's car slammed into a semi head-on, and the trooper rolled his vehicle to avoid it.
The highway patrol car was obviously just like a mess and in shambles.
Destiny, with an extensive medical background with her husband Rodney, quickly jumped into action.
I have a license to do CPR, and I was just ready to put my first aid skills to use. Just ready to help in whatever way I could.
The trooper was trapped in his car, and Destiny was determined to get him out.
I was able to reach in and open the door. My husband and I just grabbed him both arms and walked him to the edge of the road.
She and several others on scene stayed to help until more first responders arrived. The suspect was pronounced dead on scene, but the car caught on fire, resulting in then a large grass fire.
Quickly, it caught on fire and just quickly grew.
Both the semi-truck driver and trooper were released from the hospital not long after.
He's trained to roll the vehicle, and which he did, and I would assume saved his life.
And that accident happened just right here. But this stretch of highway is no stranger to deadly accidents.
In 2023, 3 serious crashes with 2 fatalities in the span of a week not far from Sunday's crash site prompted concerns for safety. But those accidents didn't involve a police chase. As for that decision to pursue the suspect, Montana Highway Patrol both Sunday and Monday declined requests for an on-camera interview. Regardless, the scene was one that will stick with Destiny Williams for years to come.
It's definitely made me realize that it's not just about me when I'm driving down the highway.
In Acton, Isabel Sparts, MTN News.
The rushing waters of Montana's rivers proved tragic this weekend. One woman was found dead in the Boulder River July 4th, while another person was discovered just yesterday in the Stillwater. Well, details are limited tonight. The deaths are shining a spotlight on river safety. Tonight, our Hannah Ferry hears from a river guide who came upon yesterday's scene just minutes after the body was found.
River guide Tim Hedin has encountered just about everything during his 28 years floating down the Stillwater. But what he saw Sunday took even him by surprise.
It's just a sickening feeling when you see that on a river.
Just above Swinging Bridge, a popular fishing area between Columbus and Absaroka, Hedin and his group encountered a body. Just the latest in what's already been a dangerous season on area waterways.
The gentleman was on the shore, under a tarp, to be honest, is what I went by with my customers.
The rapids at Swinging Bridge have claimed multiple lives over the years, especially when the water is high.
Where the gentleman swam, I can kind of tell you from personal experience that it's kind of a rough swim.
Hedin says several Good Samaritans rushed to help.
There was people right on the scene right away doing CPR. It was just didn't work. It was too late.
River levels across much of the state are lower than average, a casualty of low snowpack and ongoing drought.
It's pretty mellow right now this time of year. It's actually lower than it should be. Probably flowing, I'd say 3 to 5 miles an hour.
Even so, the death was the second in the area just this weekend. On Friday, the body of a woman was discovered in the Boulder River near Whispering Pines. That woman, now identified by family as 21-year-old Aiden Lucan of Billings. In a GoFundMe post, her family calls Aiden's death a tragic accident. While it's still unclear exactly how either of this weekend's victims died, back on the still water, Tim Hedin knows these waters can be dangerous. All the more reason he strongly encourages that people do what they can to stay safe on the water, including wearing life jackets no matter the river levels.
People should wear them, but, we can't make them, unfortunately. I know all the companies up here, there's 3 companies, we demand people wear life jackets. It's not even an option to get on a boat without a life jacket.
Near Columbus, Hannah Pettiferry, MTN News.
Those 2 deaths coming just a month after a hiker was swept down Rosebud Creek below Rimrock Lake. Rescue crews searched by land and air for days before having to pause those efforts as conditions became too dangerous. The hiker, a 23-year-old man, is presumed drowned, but search crews will continue to investigate until the body is found. Red Lodge Fire and Rescue says they will continue to watch water levels in determining when it's safe enough to search. And tonight, 3 people are in the hospital after falling into a gorge at Glacier National Park. The Whitefish Fire Department says they responded to a mutual aid request after those individuals fell into the gorge on the Avalanche Lake Trail. According to their social media posts, several agencies worked together to rescue all of the patients. 2 of the patients were transported to the hospital by ambulance, while 1 was flown by an alert helicopter. The conditions of the patients are unknown right now. We're learning more about a July 4th homicide of a Billings woman on the West End. The man accused in that killing, 40-year-old Anthony Ray Sullivan, is alleged to have committed the crime while the woman's daughter was asleep in the house. According to charging documents, the young daughter told police that she heard Sullivan arguing with her mother around 4 in the morning. The girl says she heard her mother say something like, "I love you, I'm sorry," and then heard Sullivan say, "I'm sorry too, but I'm going to prison." She didn't hear anything else until waking up on Friday, but called family after not being able to find her mom. Officers eventually found the woman's body inside a bedroom closet, appearing to have bruises on her head, neck, and arms. Family told police that the two's relationship had recently become hostile, and Sullivan was eventually arrested in Fremont County, Wyoming around 4 o'clock Friday on suspicion of DUI. Sullivan, who told police he was a professional boxer, allegedly told a bystander that he'd killed his girlfriend. He's now awaiting extradition back to Montana.
Sunshine out on the west end with the First Interstate, or with the Stockman Bank weather cam. Temperatures today at 83, started off at 59, so we're very close to average for this time of the year. Top wind gust at 22 miles an hour. Temperatures, the blue shaded number shows you the average high for this time of the year, and then 80s, so we were right in the pocket of what would be typical for this time into the season. Winds, not much of a factor this afternoon, but we did start off with some rain across eastern Montana into the western Dakotas through northern Wyoming. You see that around Williston and Gillette, but that started to ease up now, and it's going to get very dry and very warm. We're going to talk about that coming up in a few minutes.
The wait list for housing choice vouchers, commonly known as Section 8 vouchers, is now reopened. According to the Montana Department of Commerce, the voucher program provides rental subsidies for very low-income families, elderly persons, and persons with disabilities. The program gives eligible people the opportunity to choose their own rental from participating properties. Those who receive assistance typically pay around 30% of their adjusted gross monthly income for rent and utilities. The executive director of Helena's Housing Authority, Michael O'Neill, says the vouchers were previously limited in what they could pay for, but now they're more reflective of our communities and what landlords are willing to work with.
You can't work in a community if you can't afford to live there, and that's impacting across the board, folks. It's a big challenge if from situations where if families are doubled up or living in their cars, it just impacts the entire family, and just the number of homeless in our community that is really something we hadn't seen in our community at these levels. And so we hope that this is part of a solution to those problems.
O'Neill says if you've been on a wait list, make sure your information is up to date, and if you're unsure if you're eligible, to reach out to your local public housing authority.